Okay, yeah, now welcome to your third online music lesson. Today's about time signatures and bars. Last lesson we looked at rhythm notation, and there's three groups of rhythms here that you will recognise from last lesson. We've got coffee, coffee, hot chocolate. What I'd like you to do with them is listen to Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure on YouTube, because that music starts with a bass riff, and I'd like you to rearrange those notes into the correct order. Okay, now if you use the second YouTube link in Google Classroom, the first link obviously being this video, the second link is the link to the YouTube video I'd like you to watch of Queen and David Bowie, and I'd like you to try and rearrange the bass line in the right order. Okay, so you just need to rearrange those coffees and hot chocolates. That currently, by the way, sounds like coffee, coffee. Okay, and that is now the bass line goes. All right, so listen to that, come back and rearrange them in the right order, and then let's see if you're right. So pause this video now, go listen, and we'll see if you got it right when you come back. Okay, so the right answer, did you recognise the bass line? It is from, also been sampled in Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, and it was also used in a Muller Rice advert recently with a bear rapping over the top. The right answer is coffee, hot chocolate, coffee. Okay, coffee, hot chocolate, coffee. Coffee, hot chocolate, coffee. But actually, something is missing, all right? And that is because it's in a 4/4 time signature. The top number tells us how many beats are in a bar. So a time signature is two numbers that look like this at the start of a piece of music. And the top number tells us how many beats there are. It's actually telling us how many crotchets are in the bar, but that's basically beats because crotchets are every beat. So it's telling us 4 beats in the bar, and we've got our first beat here, coffee, all right? 2 half beats, all right? 2 half beats equal 1 whole beat. Then we've got hot chocolate, again, half and 2 quarters equals a whole. All right, and finally coffee again, which we've already worked out is 2 halves, and it's a whole beat. So we're missing something, and it's a crotchet rest that we're missing, and that's what it looks like. Okay, a crotchet rest has got the value of 1 beat. So there's 1 beat where we're not playing. All right, coffee, hot chocolate, coffee, rest. Coffee, hot chocolate, coffee, rest. Okay, so that's quite important to the groove of the music. There's a variety of rests, okay? There's rests for 4 beats, semi-groove rests. They're rectangles that sit on the second line from the top. There are minute rests, they last for 2 beats, and they sit on top of the third line. The crotchet rest, is like a squiggly thing here, and that's worth 1 beat, like a crotchet's worth 1 beat. A quaver rest is worth the same as a quaver, half a beat, and it looks like a 7 with a dot on it, and a semi-quaver is very similar. It's a 7 with a dot on it with an extra line and dot on, and that's worth a quarter of a beat. Just like it's got 2 lines on the actual semi-quavers, it's got 2 lines on the quaver rest as well, the semi-quaver rest. So that's the way to recognise that one, okay? I'm just going through them quickly. Your exercise today isn't on that, but you could include them in your questions and answers later on in the video. So we looked at that time signature. We've made it sound exactly like how Queen had it, but what if we changed the time signature? How would that change the sound of it? Well, that top number tells us how many beats there are in the bar. There are only 3 beats in the bar. We've got our first 3 here, but that's all we need. We need to get rid of that crotchet rest, okay? So we do. And how does that change how the riff starts? Okay, it would be coffee, hot chocolate, coffee, coffee, hot chocolate, coffee, coffee, hot chocolate, coffee. Okay, and it would just be continuous. It doesn't have the groove that it did before. But if it was written in 3/4, that's what it would sound like. So we've looked at the top number, it tells us how many beats there are in a bar. But what about the bottom number? If we change the bottom number, it actually tells us how many, if it's an 8, it tells us how many quavers are in the bar. Because the 4 actually told us how many crotchets were in the bar. But a crotchet's every beat. So when it's got a 4 at the bottom, you can just think of it as beats. But 8, we've got to count that as quavers, We've got to count the quavers. We need 6 of them. Remember, this is telling us, the top number tells us how many there are. So there are 6 quavers in this. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 2 semiquavers are equal to 1 quaver, because 2 semiquavers are equal to a quarter of a beat. A quaver is half a beat. And then we've got our last 2 here. Okay, so we've got 6. I don't need to change anything in this bar. So you might be thinking, why is the 3/4 and why is the 6/8? Well, it's the way the beats are grouped together. So when it's 3/4, the beats are grouped in coffee, hot chocolate, coffee. All right, and that's because there's 3 beats. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, but when it's 6/8, we're actually counting the quavers, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm accenting beat 1 and beat 4, or quaver 1 and quaver 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I'm counting that way, it's going to give this riff a different feel. Okay? So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And if it was 3, 4, it sounded like this. Just compare the two. So you can listen to that back and just listen to the difference, okay? There is a difference, and that's really what I want to stress today, because it's something I get asked a lot. Why is 3, 4, 6, 8, they're equal to the same thing, but they've got a completely different feel to them, and it changes the music massively. Okay, so let's look at your activity. There is a question paper on Google Docs that attached to this assignment. You can do this on Google Docs and just type straight onto it. You'll want to use slide 5 to help. The slideshow is also attached to your assignment. Check out slide 5. It is there to help you. Okay. The next slide of this advises you how to submit work online. So you can do this on paper. I don't mind. You don't have to write out the question. Just write out the answers. Do it on paper. Take a photo of it, and you can submit your work. Or you can do it straight onto Google Docs, and you can type straight onto that and just submit that. So if you're going to take a photo, right, do the work on paper, take a photo, go to Google Classroom, and there'll be a button on this assignment that says add or create. You want to add, find the photo, upload it, and finally turn it in. Don't forget to submit it. All right. If you're doing it on Google Docs, you just have to type straight onto the document and then just click submit when you've finished. All right. Go back to your Google assignment and click submit, or turn it in. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called turn it in. So turn it in, and that's it. So thanks for doing the work, and stay safe.